Hey there, how there, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter, and welcome you to Out of the Park Baseball. And once again, we're back with the Legends season, the Legends League. We had a great October seeing the Oakland A's take out the Philadelphia Phillies, and again, an American League team winning the thing, season 4. We are in season 5. No major changes for the divisions or the names or anything else. Well, there was a free agent draft. There were a few season-ending injuries that have hurt people and all that. So that's huge. Now, we're going to be looking at divisional recaps for the first 5 days. So we have one for today, Friday, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. April 2nd, that'll be Thursday, April 2nd, will be the lid lifter and randomization. Saw the San Diego Padres and the 1980 Philadelphia Phillies going toe to toe. So we'll be seeing action from the Baker Bowl, the venerable Baker Bowl. Friday the 3rd, Houston heads to Cleveland to take on the Indians. Yes, I renamed them the Indians. That's my preference. Saturday the 4th, the 86 Mets head to Milwaukee to take on those pesky Brewers. And there will be a double dip on Sunday, April the 5th. The home openers for both the defending NL champion Philadelphia Phillies and the AL champion Oakland A's. The Phillies will entertain the 1906 Cubs, and the A's will entertain the Chicago White Sox legends. So we're gonna do division. So we're gonna do some divisional stuff and all that. We are going to be looking at the AL Central, the White Sox legends, the Cleveland legends, the Kansas City legends, the 91 Twins, 85 Royals, and 17 White Sox. Of course, if you haven't been with us the past few years, what I did for this league, well, this iteration of the league, is that each one of the each one of the teams not with a year in front of it is the all-time favorite. So you have like the all-time White Sox where you could have Frank Thomas, Early Wynn, and Shoeless Joe Jackson be on the same team, if you will. Whereas teams like the 1985 Royals have the stars from the 85 Royals like George Brett, Jim Sundberg, and Brett Saberhagen. Nevertheless, three legendary teams, three all franchise teams, and three seasonal teams as I had it. Each team gets a thing and all that, and we go by geographic. We go east, central, west, north, and south. We're going to be doing the AL Central. We would do the AL East, but we are going to be focusing on, well, the AL East and the will be paired up with the NL East when we talk about the Phillies, but that will be fourth. So we're going Central first. Our first team to look at is the Chicago White Sox Legends. This is their primary roster as of this recording is Eddie Collins, great speed demon at second. Luke Appling, all aches and pains as they call him at short. Shoeless Joe Jackson, the great hitter at center field before, Black Sox scandal. Frank Thomas, the big current at first base. Paulie Konerko will DH. Mags Ordonez in right field, although his biggest home run was for another team, the Tigers in the 2006 ALCS. Robin Ventura, Rockin' Robin at third. Chet Lemon, recently deceased, he's playing left field. And AJ Przinsky is your pivot. Catcher. Your rotation, Ed Walsh, great guy in the 1900s, part of the 1906 Hitless Wonders that won the World Series. Chris Sale, a good lefty of his own right. Blackjack McDowell, winning the AL Cy Young in 1993. Eddie Saccott, who also fell flat to that whole Black Sox thing, and Red Faber from the 1920s. The bullpen as of right now is Hoyt Wilhelm, the knuckleball closer. Juan Pizarro at setup, and Keith Falk, the closer of the 2005 World Series champions. Bobby Thigpen, who had 57 saves in 1990 with the White Sox. Matt Forden. I keep thinking Matt Forden's Canadian, but he's not. I don't think so. Scott Radinsky, a decent lefty, and Hurley Burley is a long reliever. That's meet the team, if you will. Greg Thomas is a good player. Antonio Hernandez is a top prospect. Juan Carlos Rodriguez is on the White Sox Legends team. J.C. Rodriguez and Juan Cristino is on an international contract. 2014, they actually went to the playoffs with 105 games, lost the first round. 96 wins last year. They were third in their division. and all that. So let's look at the organization. Let's look at the roster by number. Eddie Collins is number 0. Shoeless Joe Jackson number 1. Luke Appling number 4. Seek Banera number 5. Royce Evers number 7. Red Faber number 8. Sherman Lar will wear number 9. Minnie Manoso wearing number 10. Louis Aparicio number 11. AJ Przinsky number 12. Paul Konerko 14. Billy Pierce 21. Robin Ventura 23. Ed Walsh 28. And I think we're going to change his number. I think he wants his number changed. I think his roster. Yeah. So Ed Walsh is going to wear number 17 on the team. So yeah, so Ed Walsh wants to change his number to 17. I don't know why. Keith Fogg number 29. Max O'Donnell number 30. Jack McDowell 31. I think we're 27, didn't he? For the White Sox. Yeah, Black Jack McDowell wore 27. So he'll be back to wearing 27 on the team. So that works out. Keith Fogg, Max Ordonez, 1 Pizarro, 32, Frank Thomas, 35, White Wilhelm, 36, Bobby Bickman, 37, Scott Rudzinski, 43, Chet Lemon, 46, 94, well, 44, sorry. George Davis, 48, guys from the 1920s. Chris Sale, 49, Burley, 59, Ray Shock, 63, Johnny Mostel, 64, and Eddie Saccott will wear number 95. Those are the injury list. They have nobody on the injury list. That's good. Next up, the Cleveland Legends, led by their team offense of Kenny Lofton, great center fielder of the 1990s, Ed Morgan at DH. Don't know much about Ed Morgan in real life, but he's decent. He had 100 RBIs last year. Albert Bell, surly outfielder for the Indians, 50 home runs, 58 doubles in 1995, not winning the World Series because the Raiders hated him. Jim Thome at first base, great player. Rocky Colifito in right field. The curse of Rocky Colifito, you got to check that out. Al Rosen will play short. Bill Bradley at third base, not the New York Knicks icon, but a guy from the 1930s. Steve O'Neill at catcher. Bobby Avila will be your second baseman. Gaylord Perry, known for a spitball. CC Sabathia, who did better with the Yankees in a sense, but come on. Well, he is in the Hall of Fame. Robert Feller. Sam McDowell, who had a great career ending on an eye injury, and Early Wynn, who 1 to 300 games as a Cleveland Indian and Chicago White Sox, and also was part of the first Toronto Blue Jays radio team. Did you not know that? Rafael Betancourt is your closer. Um, Addie Joss, great guy from the 1900s, died young, unfortunately. Sonny Siebert, there. Dave LaRoche, known for his frisbee slider. Vinny Pastano, Doug Jones, and Chris Perez are your guys. Um, Meet the team. In 2014, well, this is 2016. 2024, 98 wins, a 6-4 winning percentage, second place, but did not make the playoffs. 2015, they improved to 100 wins and got into the playoffs, but lost in round 2. To the organization, the roster, and the numbers: Bobby Afila, Earl Averill, Rocky Colifito, Kenny Lofton, Albert Bell, Ken Keltner, John Romano, Al Rosen, Larry Doby, Bob Feller, Grady Sizemore, Doug Jones, Jim Thome, David LaRoche, Bob Lemon. Bob Lemon, I think, wore like 25 or something. Yeah, he wore like I think he wore 21. But he says he'll wear 23. So Bob Lemon will wear number 23. Tomei LaRoche, O'Neill Perry. I think he wore 36. Yeah, I think Gaylord Perry wore number 36 on your radio. Yeah, so he wore 36. So yeah, he wore 36. Addie Joss, sure. Victor Martinez, Sonny Siebert, Early Win. Well, he's going to change his number to number 30. So yeah, so Early Win will wear number 30 on his jersey. Victor Martinez, Sonny Siebert, Joe Sewell. Yeah, Joe Sewell will. So Joe Sewell will wear number 4 on the team. I know he's not the main shortstop, but Joe Sewell would love to wear number 4. Sano, Ed Morgan, Sam McDowell, Travis Hafner, CC Sabathia Why does he not wear 52 on this roster? 52 for Sabathia. Chris Perez, Rafael Betancourt, and Bill Bradley the second base. So I think they're going to keep Bill Bradley wearing the number 15 of his basketball comparison. Kansas City's Legends. Willie Wilson playing left field. Mike Sweeney, first base. Sweet hitting first baseman. George Brett playing third. Mr. Royal. Gabriel Garcia, one of the super rookies, is at second base. Carlos Beltran playing center. Pedro Colazo playing short. John Mayberry, who would do much better as a Blue Jay at DH. Jermaine Dye in right field. And Daryl Porter, who would do better as a Cardinal, is behind the plate. Jesus Sanchez and Kawika, two guys who basically got lucky in a sense, making it as the super rookies. Brett Saberhagen, great guy in the 80s. Zach Greinke, also good pitcher, and Kevin Napier as well. Ivan Castillo made to be closer. Jeff Montgomery, who also is a closer there. Kyle Farnsworth, Professor Farnsworth is go. Joaquim Soria, Mike Marcusiba, pitcher in the 80s. Greg Holland, and Dennis Leonard. Meet the team. The Royals, 86 wins in 2024, and then went up to 103 games, which was amazing with these super rookies. But lost round one. But hey, you know what? Doesn't matter. Yeah, Gabriel Garcia, 153 games, 33 home runs, 93 RBIs. Pedro Colazo, 125 games, 26 home runs, 70 RBIs. Jesus Sanchez, 21-9 as a starter. And Ivan Castillo as a closer, 39 of those pesky ones. Organization, we look at the roster. Oh, yeah, we forgot to check the injury list for Cleveland, too. Yeah, we forgot to check Cleveland's injury list. Well, Cleveland's got problems. Cliff Lee is out with a strained oblique. He is pretty much down for like a month. So, he'll be back. Lou Boudreau, fractured foot. He'll be back in a few days. The main shortstop. And Manram is out with a concussion as of right now, 51 home runs. But, of course, those three guys will be back. So, yeah, that's pretty much why Cleveland's got to go with a patchwork shortstop stuff with Rosen. Because Boudreau's hurt and Manram is going to be out for a little bit. So, that's why, Colafita, like Ed Morgan's in the lineup, I guess. And Al Rosen's playing shortstop. We got Kansas City. Kansas City, here we come. Yeah, I guess I should have done that way. Organization, roster by number. Excuse me. Dale Porter will wear number 3. Daryl Porter will wear number 15 for the Royals. A lot of catchers, Wahan and McFarland, but yeah, Daryl Porter will wear 15 on the team. Willie Wilson, Ivan Castillo. Number 4 is not a starter. So, all eggs and pains, Ivan will wear number 34 as closer. Gabriel Garcia, John Mayberry, John Wadham, Mike McFarland, Billy Butler, Kawika, Brett Saberhagen, Johnny Damon, Frank White, Zach Greinke, Jermaine Dye, Willie Aikens, A.O., Pedro Colazo, Mike Sweeney, Kevin Seitzer, Ivan Castillo, Kuziba, Carlos Beltran, can't wear 15, Busby, Farnsworth, Leonard, Montgomery, Soria, Jesus Sanchez, Apier, Holland. Okay, sounds good to me. Now for the season teams. The 91 Twins, Harry Davis picked up from the A's organization, 1929 A's. By my guess, he's playing first. Shane Mack, the Mack Middleton and left. Aurelio Ramirez playing second base. Yeah, Harry Davis, I think, was here or something. Well, Aurelio Ramirez played for the 91 Twins. Chili Davis DHing, good boy from Jamaica. Kirby Puckett, Mr. 91 Twin in center. Gene Larkin playing right field, the hit that got them the World Series in 91. Brian Harper, catcher. Mike Pagliaro at third, and Greg Gagne, not the wrestling promoter, at short. Kevin Tapany, Scott Erickson, Paul Abbott, Mark Guthrie, and Denny Nagel are your starters. Al Worthington, your closer, with Rick Aguilera, Carl Willis, Steve Pedrozzi, Larry Cassian, Willie Banks, and Gary Wayne, your bullpen. The 91 Twins, 54 wins the first year, and then 53. So, you got it. You do it. The injured list, Tom Eden's torn labrum out for 4 months, so he'll be out till at least August, and he was pitching well. Chuck Knobloch fractured wrist for the second baseman. None of his home runs, but he should be coming back soon. Roster wise, you see that Ari Davis, Pedro Munoz, Earl Rodriguez, Greg Gagne, Daryl Cheney at short. I think picked up from the 75 Reds. Yeah, 75 Reds. He's picked up from that. Cheney, Gene Larkin, Brian Harper, Gary Wayne, number 13. Manny Nieto, Andy Webster, Francisco Moreno, Larry Cassian, Paul Sorrento, Scott Erickson, Mike Pecoraro, Jose Medina, Willie Banks, Shane Mack, Scott Leese, Kirby Puckett, Kevin Tapney, Paul Abbott, Greg Aguilera, Steve Bedrosian, Al Rivington, Chili Davis, Alan Anderson, Carl Willis, Mark Guthrie, and Denny Nagel. The 85 Royals, Darren Erstad in center field, picked up from the 2002 Angels. He did okay. Lou Blue at first base. I think he's from the A's organization. Well, had 52 RBIs. George Brett at third. Jim Ray Hart picked up from the Giants organization at the H. 22 homers, 93 RBIs. Hal McRae, Sr., Al Collins, Frank White, Jim Sundberg, and Marty Marion at shortstop. Yeah. Picked up from the Cardinals organization, 150 game center. Brett Saberhagen, Buddy Black, Danny Jackson, Charlie Lieber, and Moose Haas is number 5. Picked up from the 97 Marlins. Well, the 85 wrote 409 with a save. Nice job. Bernie Pelty is going to be your closer from the 85 Royals, 32 saves. Marcus Eba, Joe Beckwith, Dan Quisenberry, Mike Kunikin, Mark Hoisman, and Robert Ellis are your bullpen. Meet the team. They had 48 wins in 2024, then jumped up to 63, which is pretty good. If you ask me, the injured list, Mike Jones, back tightness. He's a reliever. We don't know when he'll be back. Roster-wise, let's look at the numbers. Buddy Biancola, Onis Concepcion, Marty Marion, George Brett, Jim Sundberg, Hal McRae, Mike Kinnikin, Al Collins, Pat Sheraton, Jim Scranton, Jim Ray Hart, Darren Erstad, Fred White, Marcus Eba, Darren Modley, Danny Jackson, Joe Beckwith, Dan Quisenberry, Brett Saberhagen, Juan Encarnacion, Moose Hawes, Charlie Liebert, Mark Heusman, Barney Pelty, Tony Ferrero, Steve Alboni, Lou Blue, Robert Ellis, Jose Perez, and Bud Black. And the 1917 White Sox to end the AL Central race. Eddie Collins, Happy Felsh, Shoeless Joe Jackson, John E. Briggs, I think for the Tigers organization. 5 homers, 57 RBIs. Helmut Pfeffer, I think he was like a minor guy, but yeah, he's played Pfeffer. Wally Pipp, the former Yankee, 71 RBIs. Ray Schock, Nemo Liebel, and Antonio Alessia, 151 games for them. Eddie Sicati, Lefty Williams, Gonzalo Guevara, I think he's a new guy, 29 years old. Rizzo Schottel and Red Faber. So, yep. Kiko Calero coming in to close on the 1917 team, 28 saves. Reb Russell, Al Brazel, Santiago Casilla, Warren Brewster, Jack Aker, and Javier Sanchez are your relievers. Meet the team. 58 wins in 2024, 53 in 2015, 2025. Organization, the injured list. Gustavo Martinez at 5 weeks with torn elbow ligament. Melly Wolfgang torn UCL will be out till August. So Wolfgang Buck Weaver, third base, will be out for a couple months. And Seth Terry, I don't know when he'll be back. So yeah, they're banged up. You see the lineup and all that. Ted Jourdain, Bert Lynn, Mark Bailey, Ernesto Mendez, Rizzo Shotto, Brazel, Warner Pep, Lebo, Russell, Danforth, Brewster, Casilla, Schock, Calero, Murphy, Fournier, Wiesberg, Sakati, Williams, Faber, McMullen, Felsh, and Chillis Joe. Oh, that's that. And now let's head to the NL Central. Starting with the Chicago Cubs legends. They have Kai Kohler. I call him Kiki Kohler. He's your DH. Slam Sammy Sosa playing right. Mark Gracie the Swan at first base. Dave Kingman, King Kong Kingman in left. Ron Santo, third base. Mr. Third Base. Rhino Sandberg recently passed away at second. Rick Wilkins would be your catcher. Andy Pafko at center. And Joe Tinker from the 1900s doing his job. Carlos Zambrano. Rick Sutcliffe, who was not a one. He was 16-1 after coming over from Cleveland in a trade in 1984, but he won a lot of games in the late 80s for the Cubs. Right, Debster, Canadian. Rick Rushell and Ken Holtzman are your rotation. Lee Smith, McPherson, all that. I keep thinking he's a Cardinals icon, but yeah, he was a Cubs guy in the 80s. Sean Marshall, Randy Myers, I would think he would be more of a red. Clark Griffith, really, yeah. Long Warner, Carlos Mormon, and Hippo Fawn in your bullpen. Lead the team, the Cubs, won 96 games in 2024 and 86 in 2025 by Kinetic Plus. The organization, the injured list, Kerry Wood, back spasms, is out for a week. He's a good guy. And Hack Wilson will be out for a couple of weeks with a twisted ankle. 23 home runs. That hurts. Johnny Evers, Gabby Harden. So I think they're going to change his number. Yeah, they're going to change Gabby Harnett's number to number 8. Frank Chance will wear number 5. I know that the guy's from the 1930s. So Frank Chance, Ron Santo, Dave Kingman, Three Finger Brown, Aramis Ramirez, Mark Grace, Giovanni Soto, Clark Griffith, Slyman Sammy, Ryan Zenberg, Lon Warnicki, Hippo Fawn, Billy Williams, Rick Wilkins, Kiki Coiler, Ken Holtzman, Carlos Zambrano, Rick Sutcliffe, Sean Marshall, Ronnie Dempster, and Lee Smith. Andy Pafko, Rick Stevenson, Carlos Monroe, Randy Myers, Rick Rusho, and Joe Tinker. But they're going to change his number to, I would have put number 2, but the Cubs say they want to change his number to number 0. All right, whatever. All right. Reds legends. Joe Morgan, great second baseman. Houston must repay for that big trade to Cincy. Pete Rose, the legendary Pete Rose, who should be in the Hall of Fame now, I hope. Left field, Joey Votto, Canadian at DH. Kluszewski playing first base, great guy of the 50s with the sleeveless, jerseys. Eric Davis, center field, a great player, but Mark shot kind of ruined him. Paul O'Neill, before he became a Yankee, playing right field. Barry Larkin, good shortstop. Johnny Bench, America's catcher in the 70s. And Aaron Boone at third base. That's a big mistake. Why the fuck is more Aaron Boone being the starting third baseman? I hate that guy. Johnny Vandermeer, the back no hitters. Jim Maloney, guy from the 60s, who threw 140 pitches in a no hitter. Jose Arijo, great pitcher in the 90s for the Reds. Mario Soto and Johnny Cueto are good. Are your starting rotation. Adonis Chapman, known for his fast pitches, is your closer. Danny Jackson, also there too, although he would be more of a Royal. Don Gullett, bronze at a Royal. I think he was more of a Red Sox. Bucky Walters, Jeff Brentley, and Epic Rixey are your bullpen. Meet the team. This team won 98 games in 2024 and 103 in 2015 to win the division but not win the playoffs, which kind of sucks. Organization-wise, injuries, Rob Dibble, torn rotator cuff. He's out till November with 46 saves. Now the question on my mind is, do you keep? I think you're going to keep. Yeah, you're going to keep him around. So a torn rotator cuff. So the Reds don't have their star closer. 46 saves that year. I think that kind of gives room for maybe Bronson Arroyo. I would say Bronson Arroyo is a lucky duck. Roster wise by number: Johnny Bench, Ed Bailey, Ben McPhee, Joe Morgan, Barry Larkin, Pete Rose, George Foster, Aaron Boone, Ted Kluszewski, Joey Votto, Ed Rush, Sean Casey, Paul O'Neill, Tony Perez, Jose Rijo, Danny Jackson, Paul Derringer, Bubbles Hargrave, Don Gullett, Ryan Dumet, number 41. Like, wait, was he? Well, he was with the Pittsburgh organization, but now he's with Cincy. Dumet. Eric Davis, Jeff Brantley, Johnny Cueto, Jim Maloney. And Jim Maloney's number will change. I am changing his number to 32. Yeah, so Jim Maloney will wear 32 on the team. Brantley, Soto, Vandermeer, Walters, Bronson. Okay. I should really check on how many of those guys are Canadian, but whatever. Pittsburgh. Their main roster, the Pittsburgh Legends, Honus Wagner at third base, which is unusual. He should be at short, but yeah, the Flying Dutchman, great player from the 1900s. Roberto Clemente at DH. No words needed. Pop Stargell at first base. We are family. Ralph Kiner, Kong Kiner in left field, Kiner's corner. Dave the Cobra Parker recently passed away, right field. Cut. McCutcheon center. George Granum started in the 1900s at second. Tony Pena catching for Pittsburgh guy in the 80s, and Jack Wilson as your shortstop. Howie Chemnitz, guy from the 1900s, is dead ball era. John Candyman Candelaria in the 70s. Jesse Tannehill of the 1900s. Doug Dre back in the 1990s, and Bob Field doing his job. Joe Hanrahan, your wife is. Babe Adams, Deacon Philippe, Stan Belinda, Bob Fred, Mike Lives, and Ferd Law are your bullpen. Meet the team. Well, this team won 99 games in 2024, made the playoffs, but lost in 5 games. 198 and missed by a game or something like that. Organization wise, the injured list. Man, look at the injuries. Jason Kendall, fractured thumb. He's out for a week. He should be back. That's not a bad idea. Sanguian, bone bruise in his wrist, the backup. So, yeah, the catchers are. Tony Pena is the only catcher. He has to be. Bill Madlock, quad strain. He should be out back in a week. And Lloyd Wader, shoulder inflammation. So, yeah, Pittsburgh's got some good players, but they're on the IL. Numbers wise, Paul Wader, Jack Wilson, George Random, Ralph Kiner, Max Carey, Fred Clark, Willie Stargell, Tony Pena, Gene Alley, Doug Drabeck, Pie Trainer, Andy Van Slake, Roberto Clemente, Andrew McCutcheon, Archie Vaughn, Babe Adams, Howard Schmidt, Wilbur Cooper, Bob Friend, Honus Wagner, Fern Law, Jason Bate, Dave Parker, Bob Field, Mike Williams, should be wearing 43. Candelaria, Tannehill, Belinda, Henry Philippe. Oh yeah, Mike Williams should be wearing number 43. Start 44. And the 1964 Cardinals, the seasonal team, Jose Sanchez playing DH, Bill White at first, Melky Cabrera playing left, Brian Jordan right, Ron Fairley playing center, Ken Boyer at third, McIvers catcher, Jose Lopez at second, Julio Javier at short, Bob Gibson 64 as I distinguish him, Patrick Corbin, Butch Henry, Ray Sadinsky, and Pete Smith. Are your rotation? Marty Schultz, Jim Messier, Bob Humphreys, Ray Darsky, Roger Mason, Ray Rushford, and Dick Ellsworth are your bullpen. Meet the team. And 51 wins in 2024, 62 wins in 2025, which isn't half bad. Injured list, Julio Palma, elbow tendonitis, the newbie, and Gordy Richardson, 4 to 5 months with a UCL. So he'll be out till September. So I think they're gonna get rid of him. Yeah. He's 27, so he will be released. He will just get the thumb, like he'll be released. Yeah, they said if he was 29, he would have to retire. Yeah, if he was 30, he would retire. You see the numbers and all that. GF Long, number 10. What a name. JEFOFF Long. Busek, Henry, Jordan, Doug Clemens, Johnny Lewis. Yeah, Raynarski, Sadetsky, Gibson 64, Pete Smith, Bill White 96. So yeah, those guys getting some stuff. 82 Brewers, Paul Molitor, Jim Gantner, great players in the 82 team. Yeah, Paulie Martin, Robin Yount, Mr. Shortstop, and center fielder. Cecil Cooper, Don Money, DHing Dan Ogilvy, Johnny Hop playing center, Ted Simmons, and Imperial Delgado. Ted Lilly, Ed Begnell, Frank DePino, Alejandro Aguilar, and Drury Augustine. What a rotation. All lefties. Chuck Crimp, Willie Fingers, Don Chester, Bobby Shantz, Doug Jones, Dwight Bernard, and Pete Ladd are your bullpen. Meet the team. Team 2024, they won 48, and then 2025, they won 52. So they improved a little bit. Injured list, nobody. That's unusual. Ed Bagdell. There's a Canadian, Ed Bagdell. Yeah, 4 and 15, but yeah, he's Canadian. Ed from T Dot. Yeah, we should do like a Canadian nationality for Canadians. I don't know that. See how many Canadians there are on everyone's roster. That would be kind of cool to see. You see that? Yeah, Ryan Dempster, the only Canadian for the Cubs legends, the Reds legends. Joey Votto being Canadian. That's kind of cool. Pittsburgh, any Canadians on their team? Oh yeah, Jason Bay's Canadian, so you have one Canadian there. 64 Cardinals. Nope, you don't have any Canadians on that team. 60 Pirates. Carlos Lopez, Roberto Clemente, the great Roberto Clemente, Rocky Nelson, Louis Gonzalez with an S, Swiggy Burgess, Dick Grote, Bill Mazeroski, Bill Vernon, and Antonio Espinosa. Nelson Valverde, Antonio Reina, Joe Gibbon, Tom Cheney, and George Wittenberg are your rotation. Finn Thatch, Roy Face, Fern Law, Red Witt, Earl Francis, Paul Gallo, and Jose Madrid are your bullpen. Meet the team in 2024, 63 wins and then 71 in the last season. Injured list for them. Benny Davis, an elbow strain. He'll be out for a month, week, and 2 weeks for Don Hoke, who's a pretty good third baseman. Rotator cuff strain. I don't know why. Doug Prouse is Canadian. From the 1960 Pirates, 49 games last year from Montreal. Yeah, Ryan Dempster's from BC. Joey Votto's from the Toronto area. Yeah, so Doug Prouse from Montreal. So that's good. Yes. Yeah, we want to see any Canadians. The White Sox, do they have a Canadian on their roster? They have a Cuban, but not a Canadian. Cleveland, do they have a Canadian on their roster? Nope, they have all American. They have two Venezuelans, a Mexican, and they're all American. Wow, that's actually amazing. Cleveland is trilateral. Kansas City, two Dominican, one from Mexico. The 91 Twins. There's one from Jamaica, Chili Davis. 85 Twins. 85 Royals, pair of Dominicans, and the 1917 White Sox. A lot of Dominicans, but other than that, no Canadians. Yeah, I forgot to check the news items of the day. Who's listening and all that? Because things change over time. Because, yeah. So this is actually the top prospects list. Lucio Devan of the 1980 Phillies at 18 years old from Venezuela. He's your number one prospect. Ruben Bautista of the Montreal Expos. You got on the Expos roster. Well, he's gonna be your short, shortstop. Jose Lopez of the 2004 Red Sox. Getting Antonio Alvarado of the 55 Dodgers from Panama. Bartolo Ordonez of the '07 Rockies organization. Trevor DeClerc of Texas. Kentaro Honma of Nihon of Atlanta. Glenn Edgar of Jamaica. Rafael Cruz of Nicaragua. And Jorge Rojo of San Diego. None of these guys have been there. The batters and all of that. Juan Ruiz, Sean Green of the 93 Blue Jays. I think he's the top prospect to have played in games. Yeah, he's played in 10 games for the 93 Blue Jays. Okay, Hernandez. Bradley Goddard. 24 years old, Cisco Fernandez. I'm actually surprised. You're 24 years old. And Ellis Valentine of the Mets organization. Yeah, he played for Montreal for 9 games. There's a Met. Top prospects of a pitcher. Antonio Barrera. Julio Rivera of the 2011 Rockies. Arthritic elbow, too. Julio Fleur. Anhui Wang from North Korea, not South Korea. Okay, whatever. And opening day. Yeah, everyone's playing. You'll see the matchups. So that's that. We will keep our eye on the AL and NL West next time. I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.